There is this one thing that the wealthy do that works for them. They remain wealthy because the primordial substance of wealth is indisputable to them. It doesn't matter if they are morally good or bad people of character. When it comes to their ability to accumulate massive amounts of wealth, it all points to the fundamental assumption of wealth, a conjecture that will never change: wealth's principles. The three principles: using it well for more, action for reaping, wealth for friends. Live one co-seekers of wealth. If you've been enjoying our content, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Now, let's dive in. There are fundamental truths that exist for obtaining wealth. In fact, these fundamental truths, wealth's principles, are universal and timeless. They've been around since the day of age and, importantly, have a cause and effect relationship that applies to any and everyone. Therefore, no one is exempt from the specific outcomes or consequences for following wealth's principles. I am going to break down some of wealth's principles for you that keep the wealthy, whether good or evil people, wealthy, in just a few. Remember, one's morality doesn't play a role in their ability to acquire wealth, as some tend to get the cause and effect of wealth's principles confused with the cause and effect of other principles such as honesty, respect, integrity, and justice. But before we get into some of wealth's principles that don't fail, you must first understand the general concept of principles. Principles are simply the foundation for a system of belief or behavior. They are rules or guidelines that govern the actions, decisions, or reasoning of something. Principles provide us with the framework for understanding and navigating the complexities of the world. For example, imagine you're building a new home and have hired a highly recommended construction company to build it for you. You've hired them because you know that they know what they're doing. They follow the construction industry rules set forth by local and state governments, professional licensing boards, OSHA, EPA, trade unions, consumer protection agencies, financial regulatory authorities, and more. Better yet, they already have fully built and occupied neighborhoods and homes to show forth their work. In order for the walls to stay up, they make sure they use brick and mortar to bond the units together, as well as anchor bolts to provide a secure connection and prevent walls from shifting or settling. They follow building codes and industry standards to ensure structural integrity, safety, and compliance with regulations. The same goes for the roof and windows of the home. They follow these construction industry principles so that the homes they build can safely reach their average lifespan, ranging from 70 to 100 years, based on the material used to build the home, such as wood frame or brick and masonry. Easily put, principles are the rules and guidelines to help you make good choices. They inform beforehand of the potentiality of successful outcomes. If you do this, this will happen. If you don't do this will or will not happen. The confidence level of wealth's principles is 99.99%. Okay, 100%. If you learn, understand, and not only apply the principles, but put them into practice, then you will acquire wealth. And if you don't, you won't. Guaranteed. Unless your wealth is inherited, meaning someone else on your behalf applied wealth's principles, resulting in you benefiting from their obedience to wealth's principles. How lucky. How blessed you are. Now that you understand that following a certain set of principles produces the results in which they were designed to do, let's get into some of the wealth principles that the wealthy follow that work every time. There are many faiths that exist in the universe, but the one I will be speaking on is kingdom faith principles, supreme faith doctrines pertaining to obtaining wealth that are universal and timeless. Understand that because these are principles of wealth, they work for the believer and non-believer. Those that are wealthy understand the principles of money better than you do. They know that when consistently applied, their accumulation of wealth continues to grow and expand. So, listen carefully. In layman's terms, the first principle gears to those that manage their money, gifts, talents, and resources wisely. They'll see their wealth grow. They'll find themselves with even more to work with and be richly supplied, so they will have an abundance, ultimately setting them up for success. But for those that dismiss opportunities and ignore their gifts and talents, or neglect their finances, or squander their resources given to them from the one above, even what they do have will be taken away. The concept of what you have or can do and can maximize for residual gain is mentioned several more times biblically, and those that are wealthy live and breathe by this principle because it works. They know that in order for them to acquire and continue to generate wealth, they must value their gifts and talents and appreciate and make the most of them. Managing their resources and money is non-negotiable. If they do not follow these rules, their wealth will be snatched away from them, and they know this. This is why you always see wealthy people continuously creating and investing in other things. If they harbor their wealth and do nothing with it, then out of their hands their wealth parts. Billionaire Mark Cuban continues to accelerate his fortune beyond his investments in technology startups during the dot-com boom. He went on to take ownership of the NBA team, the Dallas Mavericks, and became a shark investor on the popular TV show Shark Tank. Carlos Slim, a Mexican business industrialist who invested in telecommunications, infrastructure, construction, mining, retail, and finance. Slim, being one of the richest individuals in the world, never let his money just sit there. He put it to work, and it worked for him. The second wealth principle I'm going to share about is procrastination. If you spend all your time waiting for the perfect moment to do something, like planting seeds or harvesting crops, you might not end up doing anything at all, consequently missing out on lucrative opportunities. The wealthy do not play around when it comes to generating their wealth. They do not allow the fear of imperfection or limitation to hold them back from taking action to make things happen. They plant seeds and harvest crops now. Ideal timing is non-existent to them when it comes to an opportunity. Forget perfect conditions because that's rare and too far in between. They take action and do what they need to do. Worries and fear don't hold them back like they do for the unwealthy. The wealthy American businessman, Howard Schultz, former CEO of Starbucks Corporation, with a current net worth of $5 billion, faced the global financial crisis of 2008 that resulted in a severe recession and economic turmoil, continued to implement business strategies in the midst of the collapse. Though the 2008 financial crisis was no perfect condition for companies to expand, Schultz moved forward with Starbucks' international expansion during the downturn, emerging in markets such as China and India, where significant growth potential could be realized. He didn't watch the winds and look at the clouds, so says the scripture, wondering when his best opportunity was. He took action and made things happen for his company, reaping an amazing harvest. The third principle of wealth may surprise you, but it's to use your wealth to gain friends. That's right, you heard me correctly. The wealthy use their riches to make connections and support causes with their money and resources. The wealthy know that the relationships and deeds cultivated through the strategic use of their financial resources lend far more to positive change and spiritual fulfillment and eternal blessings and rewards. Let's take it a step further. Wealthy people make intentional friendships of the alike and unalike. They know if they should ever lose their wealth, which would be a direct result of a violated principle or financial offense taken against them, they will still have lifelong friends that will comfort them during their hardships, which can also open doors to other comeback opportunities, greater spiritual rewards, and alignment. At the height of his career in the early 90s, heavyweight boxer Mike Tyson's net worth was estimated to be north of $400 million. But Tyson faced financial troubles and legal challenges during and after his boxing career. Nonetheless, Tyson received support from friends, advisors, and mentors who helped him navigate his legal and financial difficulties and rebuild his life. He had these groups of people he could depend on because he put his wealth to work for him in selective friendships. And with their assistance, Tyson was able to overcome his challenges and transition into a successful career as an entrepreneur, actor, and motivational speaker. The same can be said for many others that lost their wealth but leaned on friendships to help see them through. Nicolas Cage, Toni Braxton, Lindsay Lohan, Lady Gaga, Henry Ford, and even Walt Disney. These wealth principles that I've shared with you today are not my words, but wealth principles derived from Matthew 25, verse 29. Ecclesiastes, 11, verse 4, and Luke 16, verse 9. There are so many more principles of wealth directly in the scripture available to those that take the time to hear, read, understand, believe, and apply them. With that being said, more wealth principles will be shared with you from this channel in the future. In the meanwhile, to watch more videos like this one, click the pop-up video on your screen now. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and turn on that notification bell so you'll never miss a video where we live, learn, and create.